Okay, cool. So just lying down and getting comfortable and just taking 3 deep breaths in through the nose and then just sighing it out through the mouth. So doing that a couple more times, just arriving into your body, arriving into the space. And as we do this each time before the practice, then our bodies kind of get used to, kind of like a signal really to the body to relax. It's like kind of having a bedtime routine and kind of giving our body the signal that it's actually safe now to relax. It's actually, we're going into this relaxation, so that it sometimes can kind of help it relax a bit more quickly. And then you can just bring your hands onto your belly. Maybe we're just lying down. And just breathing into the space underneath the hands. So as you're inhaling, your belly's rising. And as you exhale, the belly falls. So try to be conscious if you're kind of trying to hurry or trying to breathe quite quickly. Just trying to slow the breath down. And slow the body down if you've been busy today or you kind of maybe rushed here. You're welcome to who's just joined. If you want to put your video on, you're very welcome to. I've made sure that you don't see other people's, I think, and just see mine. So if you want me to kind of give you any prompts or adjustments, kind of verbal adjustments, then I can do. And we're going to bring one hand from the belly onto the rib cage. And just as you're lengthening the breath, just feeling the rib cage expanding and contracting. So the belly rises, the ribs expand, and then the ribs kind of contract together and the belly falls. Just taking slow, deep breaths. If you want to count, you can count for an inhale for a count of 4 and an exhale for a count of 4. And then just bringing your bottom hand from your belly onto your chest. So you're kind of one hand onto your rib cage, one hand onto your chest. We do what's called the 3-part yogic breath. So as you inhale into the belly, the ribs, and feel the chest rising. And as you exhale, exhaling, the chest falls, the rib cage contracts, and the belly falls. You're filling up the top of the body with the breath. And notice how the effects this is having on the body, how calm the body feels, and on the mind. Sometimes we don't know if we're kind of busy or stressed or a bit anxious until we start to just kind of slow the breath down. Take deeper breaths. And that helps to calm the nervous system and calm the mind down. We're going to take one more breath here. And then we're going to hug the knees into the chest. So just hugging the knees in and just rocking side to side. Just feeling the lower back onto the mat. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the tops of the knees. And we're just keeping the knees together, just moving the knees in circles in one direction. The smaller circles, and then the circles can get bigger. Feeling the movement in the hips. And then we're going to change the direction of the circle, moving in the opposite direction. And then we're going to bring the feet onto the mat. Bring the arms out at shoulder height. And then let the knees drop over to the left-hand side. We want to keep the shoulders grounded, especially that right shoulder, and taking the gaze over to the right. So as you inhale, just lengthening on the right side of the body, between the shoulder and the hip. And on the exhale, just feel a bit more of a twist coming round. So inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to twist round. And then just engaging the belly, bringing the knees up to center. And then we're going to drop the knees over to the right hand side, taking the gaze over to the left. So keeping that left shoulder grounded. And again, as you inhale, you're lengthening on the left side between the shoulder and the hip. And then exhaling, twist a little bit further round. Just keeping that left shoulder onto the mat. And then engaging the belly, will slowly come up to center. I'm going to bring the legs up so the shins are parallel to the ceiling and the thighs are pointing up towards the ceiling. Just bringing the hands by the side of the body with the palms facing down. And then we're just going to make sure that the lower back is onto the mat. So you need to shuffle the pelvis a little bit. And just hugging the belly in towards the spine. So you're kind of using the belly to keep the lower back onto the mat. And then we're just going to tap down with the right toes and then tapping down with the left. So slowly, just moving slowly, just tapping down alternate toes, keeping the belly hugged in towards the spine. So you can feel the belly's kind of keeping the lower back onto the mat. And you're using the abdominal muscles to kind of keep the pelvis level as you tap the toes down. If you want to bring the arms into it, you can bring the arms above the head. And then as you tap down the right toes, bringing the left arm up. As you tap down the left toes, bringing the right arm up. So just alternate arms and legs. Keeping conscious of the belly hugged in so the lower back's not doing any of the work to moving the legs. And we're going to do 3 more on each side now. And then 2 more. And then 1 more. Lovely. Lovely. And then hugging the knees into the chest. Lovely. And then I'm going to bring the legs back to the same position. So thighs pointing up, shins parallel to the ceiling. I'm going to bring the arms out at shoulder height. So again, pulling the belly in towards the spine. We're going to take an inhale here. And on the exhale, let the knees fall over to the left-hand side. Gaze over to the right. And then inhaling, pulling the belly in, lifting the legs up. And exhaling, moving the legs over to the right. So moving with the breath as you inhale to lift the legs up, hugging the belly in, exhaling, letting the legs fall out to the side. If you do feel that the lower back's doing some of the work and you've got any twinges in the back, just bring the feet down towards the mat, or you can bring them onto the mat if you want to as well. Just working the oblique muscles along the side of the belly. The gaze goes to the opposite side of the legs. So hugging the belly in as you come up, using the abdominal muscles to help lift the legs. And we'll do one more on each side. And then hugging the knees into the chest. Lovely. You take a big sigh out because we're done for the abdominal work for today. So we're going to take the backs of the knees and then just bringing yourself forward and backwards along the spine. Just a few times and then come up to a comfortable seat. Lovely. So we're going to cross the legs, bringing the kind of knees a little bit under the, the feet underneath the knees. That's it. And just flexing the feet. So your legs are crossed kind of in the center of the shin. I'm going to bring the right hand out to the side. And then on the inhale, lifting up the left arm and exhaling over to the side. Keeping the left sit bone grounded, you can feel a stretch in the side of the body. And inhale back to center. Taking an exhale. And inhale, sweeping the right arm up and exhaling over to the side. Inhaling back up to center. I'm going to bring the left hand onto the right knee, the right hand behind you. So sitting tall, inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhaling to twist around. You're taking the gaze over the right shoulder. Just breathing here. And then we're slowly inhaling, coming back to center. So sitting, feeling the sit bones grounded, bringing the hands onto the knees. And inhale to lengthen, so the spine is coming up towards the ceiling. And then exhaling, I'm going to come forward, keeping the spine long, opening the chest, and then walking the hands forward. You're coming forward from the hips, and they should be able to feel a stretch in the hips. So opening the chest out, and just breathing here for a couple of breaths. And on the inhale, coming back to center. And we're going to swap the cross of the legs. So bring the other leg in front, which might feel a bit strange. And just crossing the shins in the center and having the feet flexed underneath the knees. So we're going to bring the left arm out beside us. Inhaling to reach up the right arm and exhaling over to the side. Inhaling up to center, taking an exhale, and then inhaling, reaching up with the left arm, exhaling over to the side. Inhaling back up, and bringing the right hand onto the knee, the left hand behind you, inhaling to lengthen, and exhaling to twist around. The gaze goes over the left shoulder. You can feel that twist all the way from the base of the spine all the way up to the neck. On your next inhale, come back to center. So bringing the hands onto the knees, feeling the sit bones grounded. And inhale to lengthen the spine, growing tall from the sit bones. And then exhale, opening the chest, walking the hands forward. And feeling a stretch in the hips again on the other side. And then inhaling to come up to center. Lovely. We're going to bring the legs out to the right hand side, just out to the side. I'm going to show you this from behind. And then we're going to bring the So legs are out to the left. You're going to bring the right hand by the side and sweep the left hand behind you, taking hold of the right inner elbow. And we're going to twist round, looking up over the left shoulder, opening out the chest. So you're kind of coming into a bit of a twist, but a bit of a stretch as well in the torso. And then we're going to come slowly back to center. And coming over to, putting the legs over to the right. So the left hand comes onto the mat beside you. You sweep the left arm round and taking hold of the inner elbow. And then opening the chest out, twisting round, looking up, opening the chest out towards the right hand side. Lovely. And then we're going to come back to center and then come over onto all fours. So knees underneath the hips, shoulders over the wrists. We're going to spread the hands out onto the mat. We're going to inhale, we're going to dip the belly, open the chest and look up. Exhaling, tucking the pelvis, pushing the mat away. Inhale, dipping the belly, open the chest, look up. Exhaling, pushing the mat away, spreading the shoulder blades across the mat. Inhale, dipping the belly, open the chest. Exhaling, tucking the pelvis under, pushing the mat away. So on an inhale, we're going to come to a neutral tabletop. And where the hands are, we're going to bring the elbows down onto the mat. So you're onto the forearms. And then we're just going to shuffle the knees back a little bit. And then bring the chest down towards the mat and the forehead onto the mat. So just feeling a stretch in the shoulders. You can, if you want to, move the arms forward a little bit to kind of increase that stretch in the shoulders. And then hugging the belly in so that you're not dipping too much down into your lower back. And just breathing here, feeling the chest opening out onto the mat. And then we're going to walk the hands back, coming back into all fours. And then we're going to spread the hands out onto the mat, tuck the toes under, and push up into downward facing dog. So you want to push the hips up and back, spreading the hands out onto the mat, and just pedal the feet out, bringing one heel down to the mat and then the other, stretching out the back of the legs. Then we're going to slowly walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold. So feet hip distance apart. You're going to bend the knees, bring the belly down towards the thighs. You can take hold of the elbows and just let the arms go, let the head go. You can rock forwards and backwards and side to side. It's like a ragdoll. And then releasing the arms. I'm going to tuck the chin, bend the knees, and slowly come all the way up to standing. Okay. So coming to stand now with the feet hip distance apart. That's it. So we're going to have the thighs engaged, and your belly in and up towards the spine. Just bringing the arms onto the hands onto the shoulders. Going to inhale, reaching the shoulders up and back. That's it. So inhale to reach them up and exhaling back down. Just feeling the shoulder blades coming down the back. Lovely. And then bringing the hands by your side with the palms facing forwards. I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up above the head. I'm going to interlace the fingers, just releasing the first finger, and then kind of shuffling the arms back so that they're by the side of the ears. On the exhale, I'm going to reach over to the left, pushing the hips out to the right, and then inhale back to center. And exhaling over to the right, pushing the hips out to the left. Inhale back to center. On an exhale, folding forward from the hips. On an inhale, bring the hands onto the shins. And then putting the shoulder blades together, opening out the chest, long spine. Exhaling, folding forwards. On an inhale, strong legs, reach the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands down by your side. Lovely. We're going to do that the same again. So feet hip distance apart, belly in and up towards the spine. On an inhale, reach the arms up above the head. On an exhale, folding forward from the hips. On an inhale, hands onto the shins, lengthen the spine, opening the chest. Exhaling to fold forwards. On an inhale, strong legs, reach the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands down by your side. Lovely. So coming now to stand at the front of the mat, feet hip distance apart, and bring your shoulders back and down and your palms facing forwards. Lovely. So we'll inhale to reach the arms up above the head, looking up, reaching up. Exhale to fold forward from the hips. On an inhale, bring the hands onto the shins, lengthen the spine. On an exhale, bring the hands to the mat. We're going to step the right foot back and bring the knee down to the mat. Now it's up to you whether you have the back toes tucked or the foot flat onto the mat. I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands down to the mat. I'm going to step back into a plank. So inhaling here, hugging in the hips, hugging in the belly. And then exhaling, I'm going to bring the knees, thighs, hips, belly and chest all the way down to the mat. So I want to inhale, hugging the arms into the body, opening out the chest. On an exhale, we're going to push back through all fours into downward facing dog. And taking an inhale here. On an exhale, lowering the knees to the mat. We're going to step the right foot forward. So you want to make sure the knee is over the ankle in the front foot. And inhale, sweep the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bring the hands down to the mat and step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. On an inhale, hands onto the shins, hugging the shoulder blades together. Exhaling to fold forwards. On an inhale, strong legs and reach the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bring the hands down by your side. Lovely. So standing in your mountain pose is called, with the feet grounded, the spine and the crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling, palms facing forwards. And inhale, reach the arms up above the head, looking up, reaching up. Exhaling to fold forwards. On an inhale, hands onto the shins, lengthen the spine. Exhaling, bringing the hands to the mat. We're going to step the left foot back and bring the knee down to the mat. On an inhale, sweeping the arms up above the head, just engaging the inner thighs. On an exhale, bring the hands to the mat. I'm going to tuck the back toes and push back into a plank pose. So bringing the shoulders over the wrists, pushing the mat away, hugging the belly in. On an exhale, bringing the knees to the mat, and then the thighs, hips, belly and chest down. On an inhale, opening out the chest, shoulders away from the ears. On an exhale, pushing back through all fours into downward facing dog. Taking an inhale here. On an exhale, lowering the knees to the mat. I'm going to step the left foot forward, making sure the knee is over the ankle. I'm going to inhale, sweep the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands to the mat. I'm going to step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. On an inhale, hands onto the shins, lengthen the spine. Exhaling to fold forwards. On an inhale, strong legs, reaching the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands down by the side. Lovely. We're going to do the same again, but with the back knee up. So if you want to have the back knee down, there's always the option to do so as well. So just make sure you're kind of looking after yourself at energy levels today. So hugging the belly in towards the spine, shoulders back and down, palms forward. So inhaling to reach the arms up, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward from the hips. On an inhale, hands onto the shins, lengthening the spine. On an exhale, bringing the hands to the mat. We're going to step the the right foot back. Sorry. Step the right foot back. That's it, coming into a low lunge. So on an inhale, we're going to open out the chest. And light on the fingertips, opening out the chest. On an exhale, planting the hands down and stepping back into a plank. Taking an inhale here, pushing the mat away, hugging the belly in. On an exhale, bringing the knees to the mat, and then the thighs, hips, belly and chest down. On an inhale, we're going to open out the chest. And on an exhale, push back into downward facing dog. And take an inhale here. And on the exhale, lowering the knees to the mat. And then stepping the right foot forward. So making sure the knee is over the ankle and the right foot. Inhale to tuck the back toes, lifting up the back knee, opening out the chest. So I'm going to lift in the upper body so you're not sinking into the hands. On an exhale, we're going to step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. On an inhale, hands onto the shins, lengthening the spine, just tucking the chin slightly. Exhaling to fold forwards. On an inhale, long spine, reach the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands down by your side. Okay. So coming again to stand in mountain pose, feet grounded, shoulders back and down. We'll inhale to reach the arms up. On an exhale, folding forward from the hips. On an inhale, hands onto the shins and lengthen the spine. On an exhale, bringing the hands to the mat. I'm going to step the left foot back, keeping the knee off the mat. If you want to put the knee down, you can do. So on an inhale, I'm going to push with the front foot and come all the way up into a high lunge. So you want to be hugging the feet in towards each other, and that will help turn on the inner thighs and help you with your more stability. On an exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the mat and step back into a plank. So shoulders over the wrists, hugging the belly in. Inhaling here, and on an exhale, bringing the knees down and the thighs, hips, belly and chest down to the mat. I'm going to push the tops of the feet into the mat, pushing on the hands, opening out the chest. On an exhale, we're just going to look over the left shoulder and come into just a gentle twist. On an inhale, we'll come back to center, keeping the shoulders soft. And on an exhale, we're going to look over the right shoulder, coming into a bit of a twist. On an inhale, coming back to center. And on an exhale, we're going to push you all fours into downward facing dog. So taking an inhale here. And on an exhale, lowering the knees to the mat. We're going to step the left foot forward. On an inhale, tucking the back toes, lifting up the back knee, and then pushing up into a high lunge. On an exhale, we're going to bring the hands down onto the mat, And then bring the back foot forward to meet the front foot. Inhaling up to your halfway lift, lengthen. Exhaling to fold forward. On an inhale, bending the knees, reaching the arms up above the head. On an exhale, bringing the hands down by your side. Lovely. So we're now going to come to step to the side of the mat, to the long side of the mat, and stepping the feet wide. And then we're going to bring the left foot to face straight forward, and then the right foot to pivot in slightly so it's facing the top right hand corner of the mat. If you need, sorry, chilies for tea. If you want a bit more stability, then you can just shift the left foot out to the left hand side a bit, just so that you're not in one line on the feet. I'm going to bring the hands onto the hips and just make sure the pelvis is level. So there's a tendency to kind of maybe stick that left hip out, just taking the pelvis is level. And then keeping the pelvis level, we're going to bend the front knee. So the knee is over the ankle. That's it. You're grounding down with the back of the right leg. And you bring the arms up to shoulder height. I'm going to gaze over the front middle finger, softening the shoulders, strong arms. This is Warrior Two. Just taking a couple of breaths here. It's a great pose for kind of confidence and inner strength and outer strength as well. On your next inhale, we're going to flip the front palm, reaching the front arm forward, up and back, and the back hand comes down the leg. You can feel a stretch in the left side of the body. Just breathing here for a couple of breaths. You can look up towards the ceiling or looking forward, whichever is more comfortable for the neck. And on your next inhale, we're going to come back to Warrior Two. On an exhale, bend the front arm, bringing the forearm onto the thigh and the back arm up and over the ear. You're kind of pulling back your right shoulder, so you're opening the chest out a little bit. And again, you can look up towards the palm, and if that's not comfortable for the neck, just look straight ahead. So feel the grounding down with the side of the right foot. And on your next inhale, we're going to come back through to Warrior Two. We'll just move between those three poses, just with the breath. So I'll talk you through it. You're going to inhale, flip the front palm, reaching it forward, up and back. Back hand comes down the leg. On an exhale, coming forward, bending the front arm, bringing the forearm onto the thigh, and the back arm up and over the ear. On an inhale, coming back through the Warrior Two. Exhaling here, and then inhaling to flip the front palm, reaching it forward, up and back, back hand down the leg. Exhaling, sweeping the arm forward, bending it, bringing the forearm onto the thigh, the back arm up and over the ear. And then inhaling back to Warrior Two. So one more time, exhaling, then inhaling, flipping the front palm, reaching it forward, up and back. Back hand comes down the leg. Exhaling, coming forward, bending the front arm, forearm to the thigh, back arm over the ear, shoulder back. And then inhaling, coming back to Warrior Two. And straighten the front leg, keeping the arms where they are. And inhale, reaching that front arm forward. So you want to lengthen along the side of the body and keeping the hips level. So you don't want that hip to come forward, just keeping the hips level. On the exhale, we're going to bring the front hand to the shin, and then the top arm up towards the ceiling. You want to kind of pull that right shoulder back and the left shoulder tucks under you, so the chest kind of opens out towards the ceiling. You can look up towards your top hand or look forward, whichever is more comfortable. And just remember to breathe. On your next exhale, we're going to look down towards the front big toe. And then inhaling, we're going to bend the front knee and come all the way up to standing. And then bringing the hands onto the hips, and then bringing the feet to face forwards. Okay. So now bringing the right foot to face the other edge of the mat, and the left foot to pivot in a little bit, just so that that hip's kind of coming round, so the left foot's kind of coming up towards the top left-hand corner of the mat. So hands onto the hips, just making sure the pelvis is level. And we're going to bend the front knee. So again, the knee comes over the ankle. Your knee is probably tracking the second two toes on your foot. And bringing the arms up to shoulder height. You're softening the shoulders. Arms are strong, so if I could come down and push them down, I wouldn't be able to. Gaze over the middle finger of the front arm. Just pausing here, body is upright. Feeling that kind of inner strength, that inner poise. On your next inhale, I'm going to flip the front palm, reaching it forward, up and back. Back hand comes down the leg. So again, looking up towards the palm or forward, whichever's more comfortable for the neck. And on the exhale, coming back to warrior two. Just breathing here. On your next exhale, I'm going to bend the front arm, bringing the forearm onto the thigh, the back hand up and over the ear. So again, that left shoulder comes back. You can look up towards the palm. Trying not to collapse into that front arm, so a bit of a lift in the core. And on the inhale, coming back to warrior two. I'm just going to move between these poses again. So inhaling, flipping the front palm, reaching it forward, up and back. Back hand comes down the leg. On an exhale, coming forward, bending the front arm, forearm onto the thigh, back arm up and over the ear. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhaling here. Inhaling, flipping the front palm, reaching it forward, up and back. Exhaling to come forward, bending the arm, forearm onto the thigh, back arm up and over the ear. Palm faces down, and then inhaling to come back. So one more time. Inhaling, reaching up, forward, up and back. And then exhaling to come forward, bending your forearm, back arm up and over. And then inhaling, coming back to warrior two. I'm going to straighten out the front leg. That's it. And then inhaling to reach forward, reach forward. And then exhaling, bringing the right hand onto the shin or the ankle or a bit further up. And then the left arm up towards the ceiling. Pulling that left shoulder back, look up towards your left hand or forward. Breathing here. On an exhale, I'm going to look down towards the front big toe. Inhaling to bend the front knee and come all the way up to standing. I'm going to bring the hands onto your hips. Bring the feet to face forward and then heel toe the feet together. Lovely. So I'm going to do a balance now. So bringing your weight onto your right foot. I'm just going to bring the left toes onto the mat and the left heel by the ankle. Just bringing the left leg out to the side, but keeping the hips facing forward. So once you've kind of got that new center of gravity, you can leave your toes here or bring the foot up to the calf muscle, or bring it into the inner thigh. So you want to actively have the leg and the foot pushing into each other, and then you can bring your hands together at heart center. So finding a point to soften the gaze, hugging the belly in, and just breathing here. Lovely. And then you can release the leg, release the arms, and just shake the legs out a bit. Okay. And then I'm going to bring the weight onto the left leg. So the toes, the right foot onto the mat just to start with, bringing the right leg out to the side and having the hips to face forwards. So again, you can leave it here because here is just still going to have a balance, you're still going to have the benefit. Or bring it up to the calf muscle or even up to the inner thigh. Again, pushing, actively pushing the leg and the foot in towards each other. Both thighs are active. And then hugging the belly in. I want to see if we can find softness as well. So the shoulders are soft, the gaze is soft. If you fall over or kind of come out of it, just come back up into it. And then we'll release the arms, just releasing the leg. Lovely. So we're now going to come to lie down onto our fronts. Sorry. And I'm going to bring the right hand in front, right arm kind of bent in front of the body. And the left arm's going to reach back, take hold of the inside of the left foot and just pushing the foot down towards the sit bones, just to feel that stretch in the thigh muscle. So you can bring your forehead onto your arm and just feeling the stretch in the calf muscles, in the quads, the thigh muscle. You don't want to overstretch, just stretching until you can feel a nice stretch there. Just breathing here. And then we're going to release the leg. Bring the arm round so that you've got both hands. You can use both hands as a pillow. And we're just going to lift up the left leg. Keeping the leg straight, you can point the toes. Just lifting up, keeping the hip onto the mat. And we're just going to be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing the leg down. Lovely. So now bringing the left arm in front of you. I'm reaching round to take hold of the right foot with the right hand. And again, just putting that right foot down towards the sit bone so you can feel a stretch in the quads. And again, you can use the arm to make a pillow with the hand. Sorry, to make a pillow. Just breathing into that stretch. Don't want to overstretch or hurt it, just a nice stretch in the front of the thigh. And then releasing the leg. You can bring both arms in front of you to make a pillow. And then we're just going to lift up the right leg, keeping the hip onto the mat. Feeling it working in the glute, lifting up the leg. You want the leg to be active, so to point the toe. And be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then coming down. Lovely. We're now going to bring the hands behind you, so alongside of the body, with the palms facing down, so thumbs are out away from the body. And then on an inhale, I'm going to lift up the chest, open up the chest, soften the shoulders away from the ears. You can bring the arms up and away behind you with the palms facing away from the body, the thumbs up. And breathing into the belly. You want your gaze forward and down so your neck is long. And just feeling the muscles along the spine switching on. And take one long inhale here, lifting up. And on the exhale, coming down, just making a pillow with the hands. I'm going to bend the knees and bring the knees as wide as the mat. And just let the legs sway over to the left and over to the right, just releasing the lower back. Lovely. And then you can just bring the hands under the shoulders, pushing up into all fours. And we're going to bring the toes together, the knees wide, and coming to sit back onto the heels. And then reaching the arms out, you can bring the forehead onto the mat. So if the forehead doesn't come down and the heels and the sit bones don't come down, just bring the forehead down and just kind of pulling the sit bones down towards the heels so you can feel the back stretching out. And breathe into the back of the body, to the rib cage. And on the inhale, coming up to center. We're going to come up to all fours and then sweep the legs round so that you're sitting with the legs straight out in front of you. We're going to bend the left leg and then bring the left leg over, crossing over the right. So with the right leg, you can either leave it out straight in front of you with the foot flexed or sweep it round so that the heel's just by the left hip. If you do that, you just want to have both sit bones grounded at the same time. We're going to sweep the right arm behind you, the left arm in front of your left leg. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhaling to twist round. Just feeling that twist from the base of the spine all the way up to the neck. And then we'll slowly come back to center. And we'll straighten out the right leg if it's not already straight. Uncross the legs and let the left knee fall out to the side. So your body's facing over the right leg. You're going to inhale, sweep the arms up above the head. And on the exhale, folding forward from the hips. You want to have your belly coming down onto your thigh, your chest opening out towards the toes, and the shoulders soft away from the ears. So we kind of want to avoid kind of being like this. We want to open out the chest, spine long, shoulders away from the ears. And to further stretch in the hamstring and the right leg. And inhale, come up to center. Straightening out the left leg, we're going to bend the right leg, cross it over the left, and then either having the left leg straight out in front of you, flexing the foot, or the left leg round by the hip. Okay, so sweeping the left arm behind you, right arm in front of the leg, and inhale to lengthen, and exhale to twist around. On each inhale, you can lengthen the spine, growing tall, and on the exhale, twisting round. You shouldn't feel any pain, so if there's any pain, you just want to back off a little bit, coming out of the twist a bit. Inhaling back to center. And straightening out your left leg, uncrossing the legs and letting the knee fall out to the side. Again, the body's facing over your left leg. And inhale, reaching the arms up, going tall from the sit bones, and exhale to come forwards. And again, opening the chest out, belly towards the thigh. Shoulders soft. Just gazing down towards your toes. And on the inhale, I'm going to come up to center. Releasing the leg, and then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So just bringing the soles of the feet up towards the sit bones, taking hold of the ankles. You can just bring the elbows down to the knees and just encourage the legs coming down towards the mat a bit more. Encourage the knees down, just gently. And then bringing the hands onto the ankles, inhaling to lengthen the spine. And on an exhale, coming forward, opening the chest out towards, and opening the chest forwards, you're coming forward from the hips, keeping the spine long. Again, chin slightly tucked so you can feel the neck is long. And inhale, I'm going to come up to sit. Exhaling, stretching out the legs so you've kind of got a diamond shape with the legs, so the feet are further away from the body. And again, you can take hold of the ankles or the shins, inhaling to lengthen, and then exhaling to come forward. You can round the spine, bring the crown of the head down towards the mat. And soften the shoulders. You can take hold of the feet, give them a little rub, and let the head go. And then slowly in the inhale, coming up to center. And then come to lie onto your back. So first of all, just bending the knees, bringing the feet onto the mat. The arms wide, shoulder height. And just let the legs fall over to the left-hand side. Gaze over to the right. You can start to close the eyes or, well, actually close the eyes or soften the gaze, coming into the final few minutes of the practice. And then slowly coming up to center and letting the knees fall over to the right-hand side. Gaze over to the left. And then coming up back to center, we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Hugging up, you can bring the nose up towards the knees, hugging into a tight ball. And then releasing, coming into your final relaxation. So bringing the legs long, or you can have the feet, the knees bent, feet wide, knees together. You can bring your arms by the side of the body with the palms up or the palms down, whichever's more comfortable. And just first of all, just taking a big deep breath in through the nose and a long sigh out through the mouth. And then just coming into your natural breath. There's no need to change the breath, just let the body breathe for you. just concentrate your mind onto your breath, following the inhales and the exhales. If you feel the mind wandering off, just gently bring it back onto your breath. And slowly becoming aware of the back of the body where it meets the mat. Becoming aware of the space above the body in the room. And bringing some movement back, just wiggling the fingers and the toes. And if you want to stretch, you can stretch the arms above the head, stretching from the fingertips to the toe tips. And then gently rolling onto your right hand side, just using your arm as a pillow, a couple of breaths. And slowly pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together at heart center. As we take an inhale in, and on an exhale, bowing the chin to your chest. As we bow down to this practice, and I thank you for letting me lead you through this practice today. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Namaste.